the biggest gaming leaks and news of the week. The PlayStation 6 is rumored to have made its first appearance behind closed doors at the Tokyo Game Show 2024. PS5 Pro is getting more love from fans and devs alike. Ubisoft has responded to growing speculation about a potential buyout by Tencent. Microsoft seems to be moving further away from focusing on the Xbox console as the key selling point, despite the light announcement of Halo UE5. Nintendo Switch modder who refused to shut down now takes to court against Nintendo without a lawyer. And in a world where games are destroyed by microtransactions and stupid DLCs, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is a breath of fresh air, and much, much more. Before we jump in, question of the day. What PS Plus game are you playing this week? I jumped in Dead Space for the first time ever, and let me tell you, I don't think I'm going to finish it for obvious reasons. Why? It's too convincing and scaring the crap out of me. But what about you? Have you jumped into Dead Space yet, or are you playing something else? Like the Marvel Spider-Man 2 video launched yesterday. Alright, enough self-promotion. Let's jump in the first story of the day. Ubisoft has responded to growing speculation about a potential buyout by Tencent, clarifying that it regularly reviews all its strategic options, but hasn't confirmed any concrete plans at this time. The rumors surfaced after Bloomberg reported that Tencent, a Chinese tech giant with existing ties to Ubisoft, and the Guillemot family, who founded the company, are exploring ways to stabilize the publisher's value amid financial struggles. These speculations come on the heels of a sharp 19% drop in Ubisoft's shares, primarily caused by delays to major titles like Assassin's Creed Shadows and disappointing sales for Star Wars Outlaws. While Ubisoft's response doesn't shut down the possibility of a Tencent acquisition, it suggests that discussions, if any, are still in the early stages. For now, Ubisoft remains committed to exploring strategic options that benefit its stakeholders. Given the evolving landscape of the gaming industry, Tencent's interest could potentially lead to significant changes for Ubisoft, especially as the company navigates through its current financial difficulties. However, any confirmation of a buyout or major partnership will likely take time to unfold. Let's take a step back and look at the situation from a business perspective. In case you don't know, Tencent is massive in the gaming world. They own or have stakes in some of the biggest game companies out there. For example, they fully own Riot Games, the creators of League of Legends, which is one of the most popular games globally. They also own a huge chunk, 40%, of Epic Games, the people behind Fortnite and the Unreal Engine, which tons of games are built on. But it doesn't stop there. They own most of Supercell, the makers of Clash of Clans and Brawl Stars, and they have smaller stakes in companies like Ubisoft and Activision Blizzard. On the mobile side, Tencent is a beast. Their studio Teamy makes games like Honor of Kings and Call of Duty Mobile, which are huge in China and around the world. They're also behind PUBG Mobile, which is a big deal, especially in Asia. In terms of money, Tencent is the top dog. They make more money from gaming than anyone else, pulling in over $30 billion just from gaming in 2023. And they have their hands in almost every corner of the industry, from game development to esports to live streaming. Basically, Tencent has a huge influence on the gaming world, both in the West and in places like China, and they're only getting bigger. If Tencent ends up buying Ubisoft, several things could happen, and it could have a big impact on both Ubisoft's games and the gaming industry as a whole. Tencent could inject the funds necessary to ensure Ubisoft can keep up with the competition. Ubisoft would likely get greater access to the Chinese market, which is huge for gaming. Tencent is the largest gaming company in China, and it knows how to navigate the local market and government regulations. We could see Assassin's Creed or Tom Clancy's games with mobile-first experiences similar to what happened with Call of Duty Mobile. Ubisoft already has games like The Division 2 and Rainbow Six Siege that operate as live service games, but under Tencent, there could be an even bigger push toward making more of their titles live service. In short, expect to see more booty in Assassin's Creed. Tencent would also fire at least 50% of Ubisoft's workforce, so it's a double-edged sword. On one hand, you got the fact that they will wipe all the wokeness and forced inclusivity from the games, and fire all those departments. But on the other hand, if you hate live service or microtransactions, well, they will double down on that. Just imagine, pre-order Assassin's Creed to get the Hidden Blade included in the game. It's been a wild ride for Halo, right? Microsoft is finally moving Halo's development over to Unreal Engine 5 after what feels like forever of rumors, restructuring at 343 Industries, and layoffs. Now, 343 is rebranding as Halo Studios, which seems to be be a big move for the franchise. It feels like a fresh start for Halo, especially since it's been in a bit of a tough spot lately. So here's the thing. They're dropping the Slipspace engine, the tech they used for Halo Infinite. That engine is a legacy system, and parts of it are almost 25 years old. While it was tailor-made for Halo, it's become a burden on development, causing delays and inefficiencies. The team at Halo Studios had to spend too much time maintaining and fixing that engine instead of focusing on new games. Moving to Unreal Engine 5 with its modern capabilities is a massive deal. It's like a full reboot of their technology. What's exciting is how Unreal Engine 5 could transform Halo. Technologies like Nanite, which allows for super detailed environments, and Lumen, a next-gen lighting system, will let them build a more interactive and visually stunning world. The art director, Chris Matthews, is stoked about the potential for making a bigger, more immersive universe for players to explore, stuff they just couldn't do with Slipspace. They haven't committed to any new game announcements or release dates yet, but there's something called Project Foundry happening. It's not a game or a demo, it's more like a sandbox for them to test ideas and learn how to develop Halo on Unreal. They're basically experimenting with this new engine to figure out how to build the future of Halo. Microsoft seems to be moving further away from focusing on the Xbox console as the key selling point. When it comes to Halo and Gears of War, sure, they're major franchises, but the fact that they're also releasing on PC really dilutes the exclusivity that used to make Xbox special. Back in the day, getting an Xbox meant you got access to these games that no one else could play unless they owned the console. That's where the issue lies for Xbox fans who just want solid console exclusives. If they can't lock down games that are truly only available on Xbox, or at least for a good while, what's the real incentive to get the hardware? Even Game Pass, which is great on consoles, offers more value on PC. You get a larger selection, sometimes better performance, and the flexibility to play wherever you want. So for someone like you and a lot of people, the logic becomes, why bother with the Xbox when I can just get these games on PC and have a better overall experience? In a world where games are destroyed by microtransactions and stupid DLCs, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is a breath of fresh air. The fact that it features a massive roster of 181 characters at launch is a big middle finger to live service in my opinion. We live in a world where we have to pay $10 for skins in Mortal Kombat and $40 for a DLC with 5 extra characters. Additionally, players who pre-ordered the game receive a bonus character, Goku Mini, making the total roster 182 characters for those with the pre-order bonus. This diverse selection includes characters spanning the entire Dragon Ball saga, from Dragon Ball Z to Dragon Ball Super, with fan-favorite characters and powerful transformations available for battle. Few things in life bring as much hype as the world of Dragon Ball, and if there's one game series that has captured that energy perfectly, it's Budokai Tenkaichi. With the arrival of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, fans are in for a treat as the beloved franchise blasts back onto the scene, packed with the dynamic action, massive character roster, and heart-pounding battles we've come to love. One of the coolest new features in episode mode is the alternate story choices. You're not just watching Goku fight Raditz, you decide whether to team up with Piccolo or switch up the squad with Krillin and Master Roshi. These branching storylines give you the power to rewrite some of the most iconic moments, whether it's seeing Goku dodge Piccolo's special beam cannon or witnessing totally unexpected alternate outcomes. Every fight brings potential twists that could change the way the story unfolds, making every encounter feel fresh and unpredictable. The PlayStation 6 is rumored to have made its first appearance behind closed doors at the Tokyo Game Show 2024. According to Russian journalist Anton Logvinov, Sony reportedly showcased a prototype of the next-gen console to select industry partners, which could explain the larger-than-usual attendance at the event. While Sony has not confirmed or denied this, it has fueled speculation that the PlayStation 6 is further along in development than previously thought. Details are scarce, with no information on whether games were demonstrated on the hardware or if it was purely a technical briefing. This potential early reveal comes as Sony celebrates the 30th anniversary of PlayStation, with special edition PS5 Pro and PS5 Digital Edition consoles rolling out soon. The absence of an official PlayStation 6 announcement means that for now, all eyes are on future events like CES 2025, where fans hope to get more concrete information on what the next generation console will offer. Aside from hardware developments, Sony also found itself at the center of new California legislation aimed at protecting consumers' digital rights. The new law, AB 2426, sponsored by Assemblymember Jackie Irwin, restricts companies from using words like buy or purchase when selling digital goods unless they clearly inform consumers that they could lose access to those items at any time. This law was largely motivated by Sony's announcement in late 2023 that they were planning to revoke access to digital content content from Discovery Channel that users had already bought. Though the issue was eventually resolved, it raised concerns about consumer rights in the digital age. The long-awaited sequel to Ghost of Tsushima, titled Ghost of Yote, has finally been revealed, offering a fresh take on the franchise. Set in 1603, 3 centuries after the events of Ghost of Tsushima, the game introduces a new protagonist named Atsu and takes place in the land of Izo, modern-day Hokkaido, far removed from the story of Jin Sakai. Atsu embarks on her own path of revenge, signaling a new chapter for the Ghost legacy. One of the standout features of Ghost of Yote is the introduction of matchlock guns, a significant shift from the traditional bows and swords that characterized the original game. The matchlock, or Tanegashima, was first introduced to Japan in 1543 by Portuguese traders and became a vital weapon during the Sengoku period, prized for its ability to penetrate armor. However, by the time Ghost of Yote is set in the Edo period, the prominence of these guns had begun to wane, as larger conflicts in Japan diminished and the katana remained the primary weapon of choice. The brief glimpse of a matchlock gun in the reveal trailer hints that the weapons will play a key role in the gameplay, though how they integrate remains to be fully explained. Given the slower reload times and scarcity of ammunition historically associated with Tanegashima, it is likely that players will need to balance their use of the firearm, relying on it for specific scenarios rather than constant combat. Upgrading these weapons, much like upgrading bows in Ghost of Tsushima, is also expected. While some fans may miss the continuation of Jin Sakai's story, the decision to shift the setting and introduce new elements, like firearms, could be exactly what the franchise needs to evolve. With a 2025 release date on the horizon, more details are expected to emerge in the coming months, including further insights into how the game will balance traditional and modern combat styles. So, Nintendo is suing this guy Ryan Daly, who supposedly runs a company called Modded Hardware. What Modded Hardware allegedly does is sell tools and hardware that let people hack their Nintendo Switch. Once a Switch is hacked, people can download and play pirated games, basically getting games for free without paying Nintendo. And it's not just the tools. They claim Daly's company also directly gives out pirated Nintendo games, which is a huge no-no. Nintendo first caught wind of this earlier in 2024 and gave Daly a chance to stop. They sent him a warning in March and both parties agreed that Modded Hardware would shut down. But instead of closing up shop, Daly just kept doing his thing. Nintendo gave him another warning in May, but he still didn't stop. That's when Nintendo decided to file an official lawsuit in federal court because from their perspective, Daly wasn't listening. In the lawsuit, Nintendo basically says that Modded Hardware makes pirating Nintendo games possible. They argue that without these hacked consoles and tools, piracy wouldn't be as widespread as it is. For example, if you buy one of these hacked consoles from Daly's company, it might come with a bunch of pre-installed games like Super Mario or Zelda. The lawsuit claims this is a major problem, not just because of the pirated games, but also because it helps illegal marketplaces thrive. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. Daly is representing himself in court. No lawyer, which is almost never a good idea in big cases like this. His main defense is basically just saying, I didn't do it, or I don't know enough to respond, and even claiming he doesn't actually run Modded Hardware at all. He's throwing out a bunch of legal defenses too, like fair use and invalid copyrights, but that's going to be tough to pull off without legal representation. Nintendo has a strong history of winning cases like this. They've taken down emulators, like the GameCube Wii emulator Dolphin, and file-sharing sites like ROM Universe, which had to pay Nintendo millions in damages. They're known for being relentless in these legal battles. So, the odds aren't looking great for Daly, especially since he's up against one of the most successful companies in video game history, and without a lawyer. This lawsuit is still ongoing, and it's in the discovery phase, where both sides gather evidence. But if history repeats itself, Nintendo might win this one too, and Daly could face huge financial penalties, like others who tried to mess with Nintendo's IP before.